Okay, so now 10, 11, and 12 say, hey, go back to those frequency tables you had before and make histograms to go with them. Okay, bar charts where everything's all smooshed together. All right, well, number of classes is the same number of bars I'm going to have, and frequency is actually the height of the bars. So I draw an X and Y axis, and then I'll write magazines right here. That's going to be my X-axis. And frequency right here. That's going to be the height of my bars, so that's going to be that. And I've already figured out there's going to be 4 bars, and the highest bar is going to be 8. Okay, so that's going to be the height of my tallest bar right there. And I didn't even label the X-axis at all. I just drew. I want to need a bar of height 8, and then one of 4, one of 1, and one of 1. And I haven't done anything at all about labeling the X-axis. I just drew my heights. Remember, they're supposed to be all the way smooshed together so that it's a histogram. Okay, now if someone came along and said, hey, what's that spot right there where that hits the X-axis? You'd have to go, ooh, let me check on my class boundaries. Okay, the class boundary, that must be a 2.5 right there. All right, but no one came along and asked me that, so I didn't label it. What's that one? Well, that's a negative 0.5. Well, why you got it that side of the origin then? Basically, I just scooted the y-axis away and don't put the y-axis right where the origin is. Otherwise, it just kind of clutters up your picture. So that really is negative 0.5, 2.5, 5.5, and so on. Okay, but no one ever asks that. Now, this is the bizarre part. The book, after you've done that part, that was easy enough, and it explains, the book wants you to label this with the midpoints. 1, 4, 7, and 10. Okay, so now I've got my x-axis labeled with some stuff, and that's the way the book wants it done. Label your bars with the midpoints. Makes no sense, because if I had to present this somewhere in the real world, and I'm working for some magazine executive somewhere, and I'm saying, yeah, well, you know, this second category, there was 4 people in this category here, and it's like, okay, so 4 people bought 4 magazines, but where are all the people who bought 3 or 5? Because it's not labeled that way. In real life, I would probably label this as 0 to 2, 3 to 5. It's the book that's kind of wrong here by having you label it with the midpoints, because that's just not intuitive. Okay, but as far as all the way up through the end of the first exam, label the bars with the midpoints, and then don't worry about the midpoints ever again. That's what they're for, and nobody would use them because 0 to 2 is more intuitive to everyone.